But first, the 80s. Was it really a look to love? Today's Sun carries a centre spread in praise of the decade some say taste forgot. Indeed, a survey yesterday claimed the 80s was the decade most likely to make us cringe. So what is the truth? More than 7 out of 10 Brits believe the 1980s produced the worst fashion of any decade since the 1960s. Leg warmers, shoulder pads, frills, rah-rah skirts. I quite like rah-rah skirts. Puffballs, mullets. Not so good. Makeup on men. But whatever you say, it was fun. Will it ever happen again, though? It's certainly more fun and colourful than the flares and bell-bottoms that characterised the 70s. Oh, God. Or the shell suits of the 90s, let's be honest. Oh, dear. So, Martin, what do you think?
Well, the 1980s, it was very memorable, very flamboyant, yeah. I think
Why?
I applaud
Why was
it.
it so
Well, you know,
wild?
when the taste police come round to my house, you know, they can put the cuffs on and I shall walk down the street with pride, yeah. I did spend a large part of the 80s, not dressed like a peacock, but in my gold lame suit.
You were quite smart, because you went down the suit
Well, there you
route.
go.
OK,
I've had a number of looks. A lot happened in music. A lot happened in the 1980s, all the way from you know, the early 80s with your Duran Durans and your Spandau Ballets and your ABCs, all the way right through to rave culture. So there was a whole maelstrom, a lot of technology changing. But the fashions, I think, in a funny kind of way, the big haircuts, the big shoulder pads, there was a generation that kind of did feel a bit overlooked and insignificant. So I guess it was very loud. It was very flamboyant. Coming out of the 70s, it was goodbye to punk rock, and it was hello to a whole brand new decade.
Do you think it could ever happen
And that's why it's
again?
kind of quite flamboyant. Well, there's a lot of bands today, like We Are Scientists and I guess the Killers and the Scissor Sisters, who pick up on that flavour. But these are very, very different times. It was a very naive time. It was a different time. There were 3 TV channels. You had to entertain yourself back then, especially in Britain. So these are very different times today. So I shall always have a place in my heart for the 1980s, I guess.
What are you, Carol?
I think my mother has a place in her heart for the 1980s, mainly because she was Prime Minister. I, on the other hand...
Let's not even go there, Carol, if it's all right with you.
I, on the other hand, remember it as being a bit of a roller coaster, I think. You know, Arthur Scargill and the miners' strike, General Galtieri in Argentina invading our islands, so we had to boot them out. Look, it was amazing stuff. I have to say, I used to, when I got a taxi, I would never say Downing Street when I went to see my mum. I'd say, drop me off in Whitehall. Because if you said 10 Downing Street, they say, oh, you're going in to see her, aren't you? And then tell her what to do about the economy, Europe, and the whole bit. I remember it as being very political, very political indeed.
You could have driven down Downing Street, you could have walked down. Nowadays, you can't get anywhere near it.
No. Well, it was like a sort of chrysalis, wasn't it? We came in, it was all maggoty from the 70s, everything was rubbish, and then you came into the 80s and everybody emerged as beautiful butterflies. Like you, Carol, actually. I think we got a picture of you somewhere from the 80s.
Oh, I surrender. Well, at least I've learned to smile.
Yeah. You look quite frightening there.
Jackie Owen.
That's inherited.
Okay. Mr. Holland?
I think any era when you're sort of 15 onwards, you're going to remember really fondly. I think the 80s was really a fun time, as Martin said. Madness were the band I loved when I was a kid, and I still go and see them now.
Yeah.
Finsbury Park, if they're playing, I always go down there. And I love the revival stuff. I love the fact that you're doing a gig with Rick Astley.
It's never really gone away, though.
No, well, it has sort of come back into vogue, isn't it? Revival's now Bananarama. Rick Astley's dancing had a big impact on me. He's always a shocking dancer. Sadly, I copied him.
Have we got a picture? I think we got a picture of Dominic here from his 80s. There we go. That one may have been hatched in the computer room, I think, that one.
Actually, can I keep that? I got a passport due.
Of course, I never had anything like that going on in the 80s.
Go on, I bet you had loads.
Hair. Go on.
Is that a drum kit in the background or an exercise bike?
No, it's a rubber plant, actually.
Okay.
Oh, no!
It wasn't a rubber plant either.
Thanks for that, Dominic. Let's throw it over to you. The 80s, decade that taste forgot. What do you have to say, Karen?
I think it has, yeah. Let's go to Paul from Rotherham-Fest on line 1.
Morning. Paul, did you say?
Paul.
Paul, good morning.
It's, yeah. How are you going, Matthew? You all right?
I'm very well, thank you, sir. Very well.
I'm absolutely fantastic. First of all, can I say goodbye to Corinne?
Yes, you may.
Yeah, thanks a lot. The first time I come in the audience, you were really helpful to me, so thanks a lot, Corinne. All right.
That's what all the boys say. Right, now, 80s fashion, sir.
80s fashion is still in. I still do it. I do a tribute show to the 80s. We're doing a big show tomorrow night, actually. If Corinne's up in Sheffield, she's welcome to pop up across and see us.
Okay.
We do everything 80s wise. My friend's got a Spandau Ballet tribute. I do a lot of Billy Idol and, you know, rock type stuff. Soft
Why do
rock.
people still like it, Paul?
Why do we still like the 80s?
Yeah.
I grew up in the 80s. I got my first job at 14 working Crucible, so I got to hang around with all big bands. I knew Martin. I knew Phil Oakey from Human League. We sort of, because we hung around in a massive crowd like that, it was absolutely fantastic. And of course, people more flamboyant, more fun.
Yeah, more fun.
More fun. Everybody sort of let themselves go and enjoy themselves. Madness, like Dominic says.
Yeah.
And can I ask which was the real photo, the one of you or Dominic?
All real. Do you think the 90s was kind of anonymous in comparison? I don't think people
90s
can.
were terrible.
The 80s was kind of filmed as well. There's so many pop clips, videos, and
But also
it was
from
kind
the
of
80s,
photographed
There
well.
were anthems as well. Depeche Mode, Just Can't Get Enough, Your
big
Stuff,
tunes.
ABC. The really big tunes. Human
Yeah.
League. You know, Don't You Want Me? How long was it number one? 15 weeks. And on the radio now they have 80s days, don't they?
Yeah.
Just 80s.
I still think there was something about innocence there. I really do, which I
They
think
teach
the
it in schools
90s
today.
was
It's
wasn't.
part of the national curriculum, I believe.
No.
Yeah. It has to be. Why does everybody know the words to, you know, Gino by Dexys Midnight
Yeah.
Runners? And,
Yeah.
You go to a wedding and everybody can sing Wham!
that
Ram,
is
can't they?
true. In
So
my
they've got to teach that
dungarees.
stuff now.
Paul, thanks for that. Let's have another.
Someone who doesn't agree with you a lot. This is Jill from Bolton on line 3.
Morning, Jill.
Morning.
How old are you, Jill?
I'm 40 this year.
Okay. So what do you think of the 80s?
I was like teenage, going straight up into my 20s, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. When I look at the photographs of myself,
Yeah.
I just think, oh my God, what was I wearing?
What was
my
you
mother
wearing?
That was another thing. I just think fashion really hit the wall. It didn't know what it was doing.
But it was fun, though, wasn't it? I mean, it was experimental. It was trying new things. It wasn't just shell suits and
a
baggy
time
jeans.
to try out new things, exactly. But it just didn't know what it was trying out.
It was fun. And you can sum it up. Bucks Fizz, when he ripped that skirt off, the whole country celebrated.
Did we?
Well, you know, it was fun, though. That's how you typify it.
Yeah.
You know, it was very titillating and stupid, you think about it now, but at the time, you knew it was coming. He's going to rip the skirt off. He puts his hand across.
I just thought it was Phil Oakley's Fringe. That was the one. That was the thing for me.
And the pierced
An iconic
nipple.
moment.
Yeah.
Too right.
Excellent. Thanks very much for all your calls on that.